Alright, what's up guys? Thanks for tuning in. Bad news, the FC's dead. If you've seen any of my videos on YouTube, some of it has been Caleb and I putting this Tom & Design wide body kit. Other videos have been just kind of suspension parts that I've kind of reviewed and installed on the car. And then a lot of my like PB videos, just so you know there's video that actually did the lap, so no one can call me out on it. But unfortunately, I knew this day was coming. I did want to squeeze out one more track day out of this motor. So, contrary to what people think, this is not a fast car. This is a NA Street Port with a stock ECU and a stock OMP, like as all the stockish stuff that you could possibly think. Race beat exhaust, RE-Amemiya catback, unreliable 163 to the wheels. But a while back, I had overheated the motor just a little bit, and I started noticing a coolant seep on the side of the motor. And progressively, it got worse to the point where I would notice coolant on the under panel. So I'm going to show you that today. But what ended up happening over time, coolant seeped into the actual rotor. And if you don't know this, you can't combust coolant. So we tried clearing out the motor. So we took the plugs out, cranked the motor, tried to get everything out of there, but it's gone. Like, I knew it was coming, but I'm not too upset. We got about 32 track events over the course of 5-6 years. So I'm pretty stoked about that. So now the progression of this car is going to be multiple videos of us pulling the motor. This motor is actually going to go into Caleb's car since it's already street ported. And I do have a Turbo 2 motor that I'm going to be building over time. And we're going to eventually make this a very, very fast car, but it's going to be progressively over the next couple of years. Sorry, there's a douchebag driving by. It's probably like a moped or something. Anyway, but yeah, we're going to be posting out videos as time permits about us pulling this motor and then building out the Turbo 2 motor and making this car a fast time attack car. So let's get started. So like I said, we have a stock S5 NA motor. Not stock, sorry. A street ported, which when we did dyno it, it was about 160 horsepower to the wheels, unreliably. We have an electric water pump kit, Mishimoto radiator that we made some custom brackets for to fit it in here. I went through multiple coil end flows. Don't get me started on that. But it's a very empty space, which I really like, but the motor's gonna have to get pulled. And what I wanted to point out to you guys is you'll see coolant down here by the header. And that's just progression of the coolant seals being bad. So when they're cold, they seep. And both the inner and outer coolant seals are seeping coolant. You can see it right there on that tray, but unfortunately it's seeping into the rotor itself. So when we try to crank it, regardless if we bought new spark plugs or not, it won't start over. So I knew this day was coming, but it's part of the game of owning a rotary. But 32 track events, I'll take that. 50,000 miles, drove it there and back to the track as many times as I could. So now it's time to get more power, to get some boost. Hey Gabe, did you know you own a rotary? No, dude. There's no indication there's a rotor anywhere in this car. Are you sure? Yeah, dude. I don't put rotary stuff on my stuff. Also, by the way, George from JDL gave me these as a gift. Side. So right now we're taking off the infamous rat's nest. Well, it's worse on the FDs. This is baby shit. So I believe, if I recall correctly, it's, and that all comes off. Yep. All this headache comes off over here. Tucked away. Alright, now the last part of the intake manifold, it's ready to pull out. Ooh, she grimy. But I also forgot to take off the OMP lines, so I can just do that with the wrench. Check it out. Okay, so we took all the intake manifold off, so all 3 pieces. I know this motor's been leaking for a while now. The coolant seals have just gone bad. Yeah, that does not look good. Ew. Check this out. Check this out. We're gonna pull out the 6-port actuators. These are old school pineapple ones. Yeah, your motor, you shouldn't have this. See the other one real quick? I think I can pull it out with my finger. What that finger do? Yeah, this does not look good. Hell, what the fuck? Check this out. We're actually, this piece is actually stuck in here. So it actually, wow, so we were missing even more power. This thing's been stuck this whole time. All right, so we're pretty much ready to pull the motor. We drained all the fluids. We saw that some of the oil and coolant was mixed on this side of the header side. Yeah, it's expected. The coolant seals are bad. We've already dismounted the motor from the actual bow housing, and I used the pry bar to kind of separate the two. There's a shield here and on the top. It's kind of like these little like cover plates that you can use to look at the flywheel and the assembly. So pretty much took those plates off. You can see right here. Put a wedge, put a pry bar in there, kind of pried the motor and the bow housing separate. So we're pretty much ready to pull the motor. We are going to take off the hood just to avoid hitting it, and that's pretty much it. We should be dandy. And I'm just gonna, I say it's gonna be easy, but then there's always something, so I'm not holding my breath. It's never easy. Alright, it's the next day. Kind of tired, pretty beat up from pulling the motor, but it went pretty smooth. Obviously we took the short block out, so it's just the actual keg itself, so we took the manifolds off and everything. Next up, we're going to tear apart the motor, get all the irons and housings into individual pieces, and then take it to our friends at Lucky7 to inspect it before we give it the green light to rebuild it or not. It's not going back in this car. It's actually going to go into Caleb's white FC. That's a project down the line in the next couple months. We're going to go ahead and pull the transmission, but we probably won't record that. It's a transmission. Clean up the engine bay a little bit, and then over time, we're going to send out my Turbo 2 motor to get rebuilt, street ported, and all that fun jazz. Obviously, this project's going to take a couple years. I'm not in no rush to finish it. I do have the 8.6 over here to, you know, fill the void. It's a slower car, but I can still have fun in it, go to the track with the guys. But yeah, if you enjoyed what we posted today, feel free to subscribe, like, share it. I appreciate the help. But yeah, stay tuned for more progress on my FC.